Welcome to the channel, Pain in the Patoot here with another beginner map guide, and this one is going to be for the customs map. Alright, so let's get started. So, why do you have to come to customs? Well, you'll find just when you fire up the game for the first time and start playing, you'll have a lot of tasks you have to complete on this map. So it's not a map that you can actually avoid. You're going to find a good selection of loot on this map, and then there's numerous stashes and boxes and coats spread all through the map. So it's a good map for looting. Um, it is a good map for player kills because this map attracts people. It will be heavily contended by other players, so get used to it. You're going to have to be smart on this map. If you're not going after PMCs, then you have to be smart in your movements to avoid them. And finally, it's got a good selection of scavs here. If you need scav kills, it's great for that. There's a lot of them spread around the map. But let's start off with callouts. So if you're watching a streamer or if you're playing with friends, there'll be a number of callouts you might hear, and I thought I would give you a quick review of some of the more common ones. I think I'm using the most common terms, but there are people that will use some other ones. But we'll start over here. Um, this building is a big red shed, and it goes by the name of Big Red. So there is a task in here. There's an office section that has to be unlocked, and there's a task in there. So that tends to bring players to it either to do that task or to kill people trying to do that task. Next most common one or closest one is this is the ice cream stand. So people will talk about the ice cream stand. That's what they mean. This area here and this area here mostly are called old construction. It's basically just a bunch of girders of an incomplete building. This is new construction, and it is another heavily contended area. There's an exit in here. I think it's number 13. Um, the scav boss on this map, who's Rashala with 3 guards, will spawn here. The Goon Squad Raiders, there's a team of 3 very highly skilled, 1 sniper and 2 guys that will rush you. They spawn here or in the vicinity around this area. And the third special group on this map are the cultists, and they typically are only seen at night. So if you come into this map at night, you can encounter the cultists. They have some very weird modifications on standard guns. They do tend to have poor armor, but high health because they're high on something. And they carry knives that are poisoned, and if they stab you with their knife, which they will try to do in many cases, none of the traditional healing will work. There's only a couple of stims that will save you from this. So if you encounter a cultist and he stabs you, you'll notice it in your health that it looks different and you need to get out immediately. Okay. So this building over here is called the Crack House. It's a little 2-story building. There's a medical lab on the top floor, which is a lot of stims and such. Again, lots of PMCs come to this area. It is an area you have to be careful of because it is a high traffic area. Moving over here, we have Old Gas Station, which is an extraction. There are scavs here, but you'll get PMC people transitioning along here and through the fence, so you have to be careful in this area. This is the shortcut. So this is a building that has 2 lockable doors, and you need to use the factory key, but it allows you to get from this side of the wall, because here's the wall and here's the wall, over onto this side. So, or vice versa. So you can jump from the back of a car over here, and there's a couple of other places here that you can jump this way. But otherwise, if you don't have the keys, or if your strength is not built up as a skill on your player, you will have to go all the way back around here or all the way here to get from this side of the map to this side of the map because of this great big long wall that comes along here all the way. Okay. This is New Gas Station, and It is another spawn point for Rashala and his three guards. There's not really a huge amount of loot here. There is a locked room with meds in it, and a locked room with a safe, so there can be some value in it. But uh, because of Rashala, you'll find a lot of people coming to this new gas station, to hunt him down. Uh, Bus station is here, mostly scavs, so you don't necessarily have to worry about players, but you do have to worry about scavs. Uh, Dorm second or two-story, dorm three-story. Again, a very, very highly contended area with players, and also a spawn point for Rashala and his team. I'm not sure if the Goon Squad comes here. I said they are near new construction, but I think there's a possibility of them being in this area as well. I can't confirm that at the time. But like I said, there's a lot of rooms. Some of them need a key with safes, and so there's a lot of goodies in here, and that's also what attracts players. So be very, very wary of players, and in this area between the wall and the buildings for players. The final point I really want to mention on this map is here. Along this ridge is where you'll typically get sniped from this map. The only other portion by players. The only other thing is people will hide up in this building and look out the window and shoot people coming along. But you'll find snipers along this area, people sitting with sniper rifles and trying to get you running on this road, or even on the other side of the wall on this road. So it's important to be careful when you're coming along there. But that's all really the call outs that I have. There are some other ones that people might use that I'm not really familiar with, i.e., I might have heard them, but I don't particularly use them myself. All right, so another point of interest here. Let's go. I'm just going to change the color. On this map, you can encounter snipers. They are scav snipers, but that still means they can kill you. So on this building here, at one time it was only a single sniper scav, but I have seen two up here. So if you're going in this area anywhere in here, you can get sniped by one of the sniper scavs here. Also, there is a big tall cooling tower right here, more or less. It's actually here, I guess. And there's a sniper that's on top of that cooling tower, so you have to be careful for being shot by him pretty much any place in this area here. Another sniper, or the third sniper, is on top of this building. So you have to be careful when you're in here, you have to be careful here, and you have to be careful even in this area here. And the final place you can find a sniper is on this little building here. He's the only one you can actually get to. You can run up the stairs and shoot him. But he will snipe you again in this sort of general area. So that is sniper locations. Um, so that is the hotly contended areas, the callouts, and the sniper location. So that is most of what I want to draw on the map. I was going to go and use the interactive one from Tarkov Wiki. I guess the other thing that I'll try to give you is some routes. So typically you will spawn somewhere in this area here, and you have some options for getting. So if you spawn on this side of the map near Big Red, you have to get all the way over here, possibly here, maybe, but this is 11 and it's almost always open. And this is Crossroads and it's almost always open. Some of the other ones don't necessarily open all the time. There is an extraction here, that's what I'm talking about, but it can be in this fairly large area and it's a pain in the ass to try to find it sometimes. So I almost always go to Crossroads. I almost always go here because they're always open. This is 12. It can be open sometimes and sometimes not. Um, this is old gas. There's an extraction here. There's an extraction here in this building, but you have to come into this building and flip a power switch for it to work. There's a SUV extraction here, but it costs money. But I find that if I'm doing tasks on this map, I will always bring money and try to get out in this SUV, mainly because it's such a big map to run across. And if I'm heavily damaged, I'll run to this. There is a task called Bullshit that I've done a video on that you have to come into this building and plant some stuff, and you can't kill scavs, you can only kill players. So I plant the stuff and I immediately come and extract out of this SUV. But it's good to, if you have a chance, bring some money, bring 7,000 rubles. As your scav karma increases, that amount will drop, but it's a minimum of 7,000 if you're starting the game, which is, I'm assuming you guys are starting with. Okay, so let's go back here. So again, sorry, you're spawning in this area, so you need to get across the river. So there's three ways of coming across. There's here, across a land bridge. There's another land bridge here. There's a big bridge here, and then there's this small walkway. So I typically like to try to go across on this one. This is all open and you can be shot pretty easy this way. This has a little bit of cover and it's a lot easier to get across. The bridge itself isn't that bad because you got a lot of vehicles you can see here to get across on. This one you'll sometimes want to come across, but when you run across, this is all metal and it's very, very noisy. And I've gotten sniped numerous times from here, like people just sitting waiting for me to cross. But I will, if it's early enough, try running across here. And once I do, I immediately go this way and then follow the wall. This way you can go past the dorms and across the tracks, and you can actually go all the way out to this extraction without too much bother. It allows you to go into dorms if you have to do something in dorms. It allows you to go to gas station, new gas station if you need to. It allows you to come up here to the top of the hill. There's some goodies here on the top of the hill where the radio antenna is, or engage these guys. It allows you to come across here and go to this little tower, and there's often very much scavs here, but you can continue on and go this way. So that's my sort of red route one. Um, if I have to come across here, then I keep going across and running into this section here, which is actually a bunch of bushes, and then I will continue along here, crossing over, and then coming this way. And eventually, though, I will again move up that way. Depending on whether I want to go to gas, whether I need kales, I'll come in here, or if I have to come to dorms, I'll come this way. I don't go in this area too much, mainly because I'm trying to avoid other players, but if I'm looking for a fight, then I go, of course, that way. This land bridge, if I take this little land bridge, usually I will just join up with this one. You can actually go underneath this big bridge, so that's another way you can go underneath the bridge and then come up this way. And then finally, if I have to take this because I've spawned in this area, I typically will just go directly here and go, screw it, I'm going to go in and see what's in Crack House. So those are the routes for that direction of travel. I'll switch color. Now you can spawn in again at this side of the map. So what's the proper way to go? Well, you can do simply reverse this way. You can run across here, and at one point you have to jump the fence, but it's good means to get to old gas. There's some stuff in this building, and then going here, and then you have this or this. You have the new construction or the old gas. Um, the other option is you can go into this building, which has some goodies, and sort of come this way. This way, I would normally go to the gas station, the new gas station. Um, but that is more or less the way that I go. Following along the wall, you have to be somewhat careful of the sniper on top of this building that I mentioned before, and you do get some people that can spawn in this area, so it is a good way to go. Um, Usually around this point, there's a bridge. You can go underneath the bridge and to get old gas, or you have to jump down. But you'll find people in this area here. Again, it's got the building with the power switch to turn on. No, that's this building. Nope, sorry. It is actually this building is where the power switch is. Sorry, this is part of old construction, so ignore that. But this the power switch is in this room here, which allows you to extract through there. Sorry about that. I can maybe edit that out, but if not, that's what you need to do. So again, you come to the new gas, and you can follow this road, determine which way you want to go to dorms, or you can go for a fight. All right, so that is my favorite routes. You can use that as a means to go yourself, or you can use it as a means to know that this is what other people are going to be running and you can avoid them. Or you can set up an ambush and try to kill them if you need uh, PMC kills. But that is my thoughts on a lot of this map. I'll close this down and I'm not going to save it. And here is the interactive map. So if you go to Google and you go to Tarkov Wiki and then search for customs, it'll pull this up. And this is the same map that I was showing you, but it has points that you can add here in the left. So I've got the extraction points here. So this is the trailer park, which I told you there's a large area that you have to find the sweet spot in the area. This is, of course, Crossroads. So the green ones are PMC extractions. The yellow ones are um, scab extractions. So railroad to port, railroad to Tarkov. It's important to know those names because if you're doing scavs and you need the extraction, it will be in the list of extractions. You'll see railroad to Tarkov. You'll see railroad to port. You need to know which one to go to. This is smugglers. There's a little fire, and if the fire is lit, you have a good chance that it's active. You can still run up to the fire and it doesn't let you out. And this is sniper roadblock. Again, it's a scav extraction point. I don't find that one, I usually get that one too much, but it can occur. And this is the RUAF PMC extract, so that's important to know. Here's the 13, which is powered. Here's the old gas station. Here's the B12, which sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. And this is 11, which is almost always open. And this is the SUV. And it can be used by, um, it's Dorms V, that's the SUV. And this is just Old Road Gate for scavs. And then you get two more up here, Road to Military Base, Passage Between Rocks, and military base CP, and this is the admin one right here, and then there's another one here, scav checkpoint. So these are all scav ones. You'll notice that there's a heck of a lot of them. So it's important to know these names because you'll get in and only certain ones will be showing in your list of choices. So you need to know these names. All right. So let's just go here. I've got the scav spawns, boss spawns. So again, I was talking about the goon squad and Reshala. So this is goon squads, but it's also Reshala. And here is Reshala, and here is Reshala. But Reshala can actually be here with the goon squad. Note there's the snipers that I was talking about in these locations. And what else do we have? The cultist spawn. So where's the little knives? There's the knives. So this is the one that I got ambushed at. But they also can appear in this area. I've seen them right outside this building. And this is just where you spawn in as a scav. So I'm going to turn that off and let's go to the PMC. So this is usually a little bit important. So these are the locations where you spawn in as a player. You can see here. So why is this important? Well, the thing is, you have to be wary on this map of players coming up behind you. So if you spawn back here in all the little sheds, or here, nobody's going to be spawning to your right. But you have to be wary of people's players spawning here or here or here. So you got to be careful when you're coming out of these spawn points along this road. A player can spawn here or here. Same thing if you're coming from the back. It's most common that you'll get somebody spawning here that you have to contend with, but you can get somebody in the middle, and if they need kills, they will simply come and hunt you down that way. This one here, again, this is a PMC spawn, and I talked about this bridge being noisy. Usually it's the guy here will run back and sit here waiting for somebody to come across. So you have to be very careful at this end when you're spawning in because of the closeness of other people. And I'll tell you, I've done it myself. I've sat here behind a truck and waited for this guy, and he came running down the road, and I shot him. So it's something I've done myself. So you have to be careful. The rest of the spawn points are kind of spread out enough that you don't have to contend with other people right away, but you do have to somewhat get used to, again, anytime you see spawn points that are close together, you have to be careful because somebody can spawn in with you. So this is a very common spawn point in a little building here, and of course you have to be worried about somebody spawning here or in that building or here at the fence. So if you go this way, you can have this guy or even this guy here. If you try to run this way, you have to be careful about that guy, that guy. If you come to the fence, you have to worry about this guy, potentially, or this guy. So that's why it's really important to get used to spawn points because when you spawn in, you need to immediately think about where you could get attacked from. Okay? And then the final thing that I'm going to do here is um, showing you just, I talked about the loot. These are the buildings themselves, and you can see some of the loot here. So there's a 3-story dorm, and there's a location of the loot. There's a 2-story dorm, and there's a location of the loot. So you can see there's quite a few areas where you can get loot in this map. I will go and cut down the loot to what I'm looking for. I'm looking for stashes. So that's a supply crate. It's taking a bit. Sorry about this. But it is, again, there's lots of stashes on this map, and they come in with, there we go, barrel ground. They call them different on every map. But you can see how many there are. There's one, two here, there's one here, there's one here. There's more, some here, some here. And all of these caches have the potential for some really good equipment. So that is one of the reasons I said at the top of this video why you would want to come to this map. So again, I'll go back here and show you Tarkov Wiki, official Tarkov Wiki. Go here, type in customs, boom, click on customs, and you see some descriptions of the actual map. So it's a 40-minute raid. These related maps at this point they don't mean anything, but actually eventually in the game you'll actually that'll be important. Players 9 to 12. So that's the number of PMCs in the raid, and the enemies are Scavs, Reshala, Knight, Big Pipe, Bird Eye, that's the Goon Squad, and the Cultists. So you can go down here and it gives you a picture of that's what Reshala looks like. These are the Goon Squad guys. Those were the Cultists, and that's what they would look like if you ever got close enough to need to see them. And here's an showing some pictures. There's the old gas station that I mentioned about. Um, there's the RUAF extraction. So you can have a look at these pictures, and that'll help you get familiar with the area. There's the smuggler, is what I was talking about, the little fire that you use. But this is a good tool for. Gotta go back. This is a good tool for playing any of the maps. Each one of the maps will have something like this. There's ZB11. That's what it looks like. You have to open this gate and go down the stairs. So that is right at the one end of the map. It's important to know. And this is where you can get the interactive maps. This one is the interactive, and then there's these other maps that will show you Um, a number of other items. Pretty much everything I just showed you. It just everything's on one map. It doesn't interact at all. Um, these are a map for the building, and here's another map like the one I was using, and it's got a few things already on it. Again, very busy map. But if you're not familiar, you can always like pull this up on if you got a laptop or a tablet or even your phone, um, and have this beside you. That's what I did when I started, so I could sort of orient myself. And then here's a map of the various. So this is the dorms, the two-story ground floor, two-story second floor. So that's a two-story, and this is a three-story. Again, this is highly contended area, so be ready to defend yourself. This is new gas station. So there's lots of different pictures here that you will. There's Big Red, that big tall red building I'm talking about. So you'll see these pretty quick. But one of the things I found when I first started playing this map was it was just a little bit difficult to get to orient myself around the map. Where do I need to go? So you need to start picking up some landmarks that will help you with finding your way around. There's inside new gas, inside dorms. But you can see this is the old construction. There's the towers, the cooling towers I was talking about that has a sniper scav on top of them. But it's very easy to see them across the map, so you can find that pretty quick. This is old construction, and you'll need to get into the cab of this truck using a key to get a pocket watch on the floor. Again, you can see the cooling towers up here with the where the sniper scab is. This is more, you could, I don't know, I call it old construction still. And over here is the crack house area. Dorms are located over here. That's just a closer look at this area. And here is the bridge across. And this is one of the land bridges. And then there's another land bridge over here, the ones I was showing you on the map. Again, a view from the bridge, and there's Big Red over there, so keep that in mind. But you can see that you can come across here not bad because there's a lot of vehicles and such to hide behind. There is Big Red. We would spawn typically over here. This is a little area with all the little storage sheds. And here's the storage sheds. So you have to be careful because people might be coming through this to extract, or there are scavs in that area. Again, another view of new gas station. And this was the little sniper tower I was talking about. If you go around behind the building, there's a set of stairs to come up, and you can kill the scav sniper that's here. Again, another picture of Big Red. So you would spawn back in this area and be coming this way. This is the railway tracks that you have to jump the fence. This is where you go through in the little towers there. You can also go through farther back and go up the hill along the wall that I was showing you that route. This is inside one of the buildings. Again, old gas. New gas, third floor dorms. This is between the two dorms, and I've gone through most of these pictures. So I hope that will give you a little bit of help on this map. It is, like I said, it's unavoidable. You need to be on this map because of all the early tasks, but it is a map that you need to take it easy. Like try using some of those routes I've defined. Use cover. Don't be running all the time. Only run when you need to, and hopefully that will help you out. Okay, thanks.